one more question for you is around, okay, so let's say we take a bold step, we do something, we take an action. How do we communicate it so we can influence broader change? Like, what are those mechanisms, right? I am not proficient in social media at all. So, and I know that that's a very polarizing space. So is that the mechanism, or are there other mechanisms? How do we do this?
I think it comes down once again to the individual. So to give you a story, a really brief story in terms of how I got into the industry, was because of the way that I was brought up. So myself and my business partner were, ironically enough, have fairly similar stories as children, where we grew up with mothers who were animal rights advocates, and grew up with a high level of awareness of the kind of food that we were eating and the decisions that we were making and the way that we were treating the creatures around us that didn't have a voice. So it was as simple as that, is that I had a mom who told me what was right and wrong based on her understanding of the world, and it was led with an understanding of kindness, and you can never regret being kind. That's an absolute fact. You can never regret being kind. And because of that, I started a company with a dear friend of mine, and now we employ close to 100 people. And that's only just growing. We're only 7 years into the business. So that one woman decided to have a child and then raise that child in a good way. So that in itself can have an effect that social media may or may not have. Social media is a very powerful tool. It gives us the ability to communicate our thoughts in a way that can be either conducive or non-conducive to the benefit of society overall. I don't know yet. I'm not on social media either. I chose to exit during COVID, just for the sake of my personal well-being and others. So when it comes down to that, is like choose your medium. If you feel that social media is where you want to share, do it as loudly as possible. If it's as an individual in your personal life, share the story with your friends and of your thoughts and whatever they are. Some of the strongest things that we have over generations are folk stories and songs from our heritage and our roots, our cultural roots, that have never been forgotten over time. And I think the song that this generation is going to carry is the impact that we make that's going to leave the planet in a more positive way than we found it, and that'll be what we ultimately end up doing. So, and that does come down through the more personal, relatable interactions that you have on a day-to-day basis and how you carry yourself as an individual.